What's up, you guys? In this episode, we're going to talk about Marshall selling to Zounds. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy, Louis Torres, and today is a big day because I think it's just bad news for the music industry as a whole, right? And really just the guitarists, from that point of view. So if you have never heard of Zounds, if you have one of these Marshall Bluetooth speakers, then you are more than familiar with the company. They actually signed a deal with Marshall just so they can have little tchotchkes like this, like the Marshall refrigerator or the Marshall key holders, right? So, you sit back and you see things like Gibson having been purchased by KKR, which, again, I will remind everyone, is the company that literally drove Toys R Us down to zero. Then you have Mesa that went ahead and jumped on that bandwagon. Now you have Marshall, literally one of the largest amplifier companies in history. They literally made history. So you sit back and you're just like, hey, I wonder how this is going to pan out. So apparently Terry and Victoria, they're still shareholders, but they sold the bulk of their shares, which I guess is 75%, to Zounds. They already had a large portion of their shares already. They just bought more. And I would imagine that has something to do with the fact that they kind of can foresee where things are going. All you have to do is go to any guitar center to have an idea of how things are going. Or better yet, buy an amplifier or a guitar from Guitar Center, have it shipped to your house, and hopefully it arrives intact. For the most part, it usually doesn't. So that's that's not here nor there. But you always sit back, and in situations like this, you always wonder how things are going to pan out at the end. And not to be cynical, but these things never pan out the way you and I, as a consumer, always hope it to be. I can only imagine that Zounds will just continue with their tchotchke building. So they'll have, Marshall acoustic guitars. They'll have Marshall lunch boxes, things like that. Listen, if you don't understand or don't realize that accessories is such a huge industry, then you kind of can't really foresee where the angle is going or where the direction is going with the company. For the most part, if you played guitar and you had a Marshall in 1985 and you haven't played guitar in 30 years, 40 years, you're probably going to sit back and say, hey, look, there is, I don't know, name the tchotchke of choice. Look, a pair of Marshall sneakers. You know what? I'm going to get those. Or better yet, Marshall boots, because who doesn't need a good pair of boots these days? So, if you go to any Cracker Barrel, there's a reason why you walk into a store. Dude, they generate, it's something like 30% of their annual revenue from all of those, all the tchotchkes that Cracker Barrel sells when you first walk in, or even on your way out, and you're like, let me get a little piece of chocolate. Yo, that is what these are. Think about it. This is a Marshall. Dude, those are Marshalls. So, is it a good thing? I think they're just going to splice and dice it and try to figure out the best bang for their buck. And, do I blame Zounds? When you have the money and you can buy out a company or buy the bulk of their shares, your goal in the end is to earn as much of a return on your investment, right? You know, if you were to take $1,000 and invest it in something, you want your $1,000 to become 2,000, 5,000, you know, heck, even 50,000. You know, who doesn't want that? So just understand that that's what a company like Zounds, in the end, that's what they really want to do. It's just the business side of it. Are things going to get corny? I think so. But that's just, if you don't think that that's going to happen, you wait. I'm telling you, you're going to end up having you're going to be in the Bahamas somewhere on vacation, and you're going to go into a store because you need some scuba gear or some snorkeling gear, and you're going to see Marshall snorkeling gear, and you're going to be like, no, yes, I think it's going to get like that. Hopefully it doesn't, but if history, which loves to repeat itself, has taught me anything over the last 30 years, is that these companies are going to try to generate as much revenue as they can, dilute the company as much as they can, because to them, they don't really care necessarily about Marshall. They just care about the Marshall logo. They just care about the brand. And if ding-dongs like me are going to go out of our way and get a Marshall Bluetooth speaker, we're probably going to buy other stupid shit too. And they know that, and that's just how they are going to diversify the Marshall brand, because, there's Marshall, but if you're not a musician, you probably aren't familiar with the Marshall brand, company, whatever the case is, and you're going to start seeing that at all these various companies and shops, and it's just how it is, dude. And I don't blame them, because it's a business. It's a business, and they have the money, and, the Marshalls are just like, yo, I do not want to be in this business that much longer. I just want to retire, chill, hang out, buy myself a $10 million castle somewhere in the UK, and just chill with my grandkids. Yo, who does not want to end up in that situation where you could just chill? You've paid your dues. Your father started a company. You've paid your dues over the last 60 decades or 6 decades. And it's now you just want to just chill and, use your Marshall private jet to just jet set all over the place. So how will things turn out? We don't know. This is literally the stage 1 of Marshall. We can still contend and see what is the future of Marshall just by looking at Gibson and next in line with Mesa, and seeing where those guys tend to go with their business line, and assume that Marshall is eventually just going to follow suit. So we'll see. Wah, wah. I don't know. What does that mean for Marshall? Everything's going to be made in China and Taiwan and everywhere in between, Singapore, Malaysia. I don't know. Malaysia pumps out really great amps by way of Chariotone. So hopefully they'll sit back and say, you know what? There's a huge demand for these customized Marshall amps, and maybe they'll have a custom shop, which is long overdue. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. That's why companies like Fortin have just gone through the roof, because Marshall doesn't have a custom shop where you can say, hey, can you throw a Jose mod in there? Can you throw a built-in noise gate that's similar to the one in the Marshall JCM 800 KK? There's no such thing as that, and that's why companies like Fortin and many others have done so great throughout the years. So will that happen? Your guess is as good as mine, so who knows? So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, stop messing around. Tomorrow's Friday, Pizza Friday. I still have to make a video with these two guys, which is the Venom pedal and the 2716. I'll do that this weekend though. So I've been slacking. Stop messing around. I've been slacking too. So guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Yo, I hope you guys were laughing. And thank you so much for watching. And as usual, this crazy guy will talk to you soon.